pay attention to the back flank. They're just trying to
on its head
and run to the hills. It's not gonna matter. Bucks ends up falling, and Global Esports will at long last find their first match victory here in VCT Pacific. Both of their Indian players making their debuts. Both of them putting up solid performances for their first time on this stage.
Global Esports finally took their first victory in the VCT Pacific, beating Talon Esports 2-0, and what a game it was. With every game, they constantly seem to be improving, and it has shown its fruition. Their game against DRX, one of the top 4 teams in the world, was absolutely down to the wire, and they should have beaten Zeta as well 2-0, but unfortunately, their endgame problems show up in that second map of both the series, and hence they lost out on the decider as well. But here, against Talon, they finally showed up with their improved selves, the return of SK Rossi and the debut of Lightning Fast, and they found their first win, and this is how. First up, Split. This map has been GE's constant home map and has been the place where they have shown great teamwork adjustment to. And this is also where Lightning Fast made his debut on the big stage finally. GE had been trying out multiple different things and had to play with multiple changes from the start of VCT lock-in in Brazil itself. Ronski, Rossi, Lightning Fast were the 3 pieces of a puzzle Aaron had to sort based on maps, situations, comps, and visa issues. And this time it looks like they found their fix. Throwing Texture on the Sage after him performing as the main duelist from the start and getting Lightning Fast his raise was a great move as it paid off. They started great as usual with their pistol, as GE are probably one of the best in the Pacific on pistol rounds. And with Monnier being Monnier, he started the series with a bang.
Goes to grab one.
and he's still alive.
The lock-in, but I mean, Garnet's not paying attention as much yet. Oh, he's doing it again.
Oh no!
Off the rip of 4K. Ace to kick off the series. Monyet, you absolute split animal.
They absolutely took control from the very beginning on their defense and were basically on cruise control, playing great crossfires and bait peaks. And they also threw in an extremely satisfying eco round in between.
Age of evolution. You have so much more you can offer. As what is this sheriffing? Texture and Lightning Fast just cracking skulls as Texture will get a second. Good luck, Sushi.
Oh, well, it was a nice jiggle peek, but for them to try to greed this over on me. Okay.
And Lightning Fast also had his shining moments, showing why he's here.
Sprays and it gets past! What is that?
The confidence from Lightning Fast.
I mean, by the time he saw him, the guy was already dead.
Yeah.
He was just happening to hit that spray perfectly, and then immediately up over the top finds the Viper. It's a great way to just drop that.
GE continued to play as a team and clearing angles, taking fights as a team, and showed great patience too. Their mid pushes together as a team were really great in terms of taking control, and they were looking really good with them switching up their ante every other round, playing forward and then playing on the retake, with Aaron's game reading and calling absolutely on point. They finished the half with a solid 9-3, and the game honestly seemed like it was almost done already. In the second half, they took their time to settle but found their footing as they played efficiently, letting Talon make most of the mistakes and the first moves. It almost seemed like Talon had no idea who was where or what, and then there were moments like these which just, well, I don't need to say much about this as GE sealed Split with this insanity from Bazi.
With the judge, he wants to take control of elbow, and he's good for 2!
Oh my God! Garnet's off the top rope, able to find 2. Bazzi now last man standing, and he's good for it. Bazzi
And Monnier.
Oh boy!
Oh!
How does Monyet win that?
Well,
the man's pushing up. He jumps over the showstopper.
30 seconds.
What is happening in this map?
Next, Icebox. Now, Icebox hasn't been the kindest map to most. Global, though, had never been seen on Icebox before this with their roster, and just when we thought they were done with surprises, GE subbed off Lightning Fast after his stellar debut on the international stage to bring back the talisman SK Rossi. They knew SK Rossi would be on his best self on the jet, and that Texture could maybe work around the Killjoy and play the support role better, and they weren't wrong at all. GE's internal workings were showing off in their matches as they were finally finding their groove and fixing their role issues. The starting pistol, as usual, went in GE's favor as they started off really well. SK Rossi kinda started off on a slippery foot with that unintended, probably dash, but he more than made up for it with his 4th round almost ace with a Guardian that Bazi stole from him for reasons unknown.
Oh, how was gonna say, not the best of weapons to take away the lockdown, but he is gonna wait patiently for a kill.
Just pop that. No spray through the wall to try to disrupt this, but Rossi now on for an ace.
Oh, he wants it so bad.
In his debut map, what a way to jazz somebody up. This would certainly be it. The push out, and Bazzi steals it away.
Come on, you knew he was full flashed, my God.
They were 4-0 up, and Talon started asserting their plan from the 5th round. They found a kink in GE's armor and exploited that B side with constant aggression and found great timings on GE. They even leveled up the scoreline and went further to pick up a 5th in a row, and people were starting to probably wonder if map 3 is going to show up. But then GE found their 5th round finally thanks to a bit of an aggression from Talon that kind of went over the line and had no support either, and Monnier yet again being tracked. They started playing on the retake on B, understood the movements of Talon, and even though Sushi Boys almost clutched a 1v5, G picked themselves back up. The very next round, they showed their teamwork yet again with the early mid aggression to allow Eskiroski to be set up aggressively on A after their distraction that could have gone worse without the texture trade kill. Eskirosi got the first kill in a risky position and drew all the attention from the Sova and the rest of Talon on him, setting up Aaron for success as the Hunter's Fury was too focused on what was tagged.
Time for Aaron!
Holding the corner, looking for a little bit more. Aaron will go ahead, drop the spike. Suddenly just Fox, and he will fall.
Talon managed to tie up the half 6 and 6 as GE readied themselves up for the attack. The biggest advantage that Global had going into this game was the fact that no one has seen them on most maps before. No one can, to be very honest, even predict their team comp or even the playing 5 for that matter, and that worked out for them. On the attack, they lost the pistol to a stacked up A side, and having a Sky in place of a Sova did not help as much as it made it a little difficult because they had no positional marking utility like Sova. They walked right into a trap of multiple off angles and lost having no proper information about positions. Although Bazzi came really close to winning a 1v3, he didn't expect the position of the last man and died trying. But the next round? What a brilliant force buy. They head on A to make sure they use the pistols to destroy the drone and give Talon a false sense of confidence, only to take it back with Bazzi's ridiculous stinger at range kills and then rotate on B and textures mid-pivot as insurance to get an important round. There were slip-ups later from Global, letting Pat exploit that B main push all by himself, which was not watched. Pat also getting an insane 3k with a bit of a missed utility dump from Aaron, which SK Rossi should have used, to be honest, on his advantage, but he whiffed and that let Pat run crazy. This let Talon go up 8 and 10, which gave them the confidence to get aggressive and start setting in a bit of nervousness into all of the GE fans and players too, and it was seen. And this is where Eraser came to the rescue. Timeout taken, deep breaths instilled, attention heightened. This time, Global were not going to let this end the same way it did with Zeta. This time, they were ready to give it all and take this 2-0. Post timeout, round 19 had the weirdest start we'd ever seen. Pat crawled into another B main push and that went past anyone's notice until the longest time, but was finally taken care of after Aaron's death in rotation. With Pat straight, Talon gambled their forces on B and the Viper spit from Monnier sealed the round, even though Garnet gave a really good shot at the retake, but a slight overheat gave GE an important round.
One.
Yeah, but
the time is not there.
Yeah, you just have to stick it.
But not as important as the next one that almost slipped out of their hands. Talon had a great start in the round with their utility control and finding the first 2 picks with ease. The Viper Snakebite and Sova Shock Dart combo fetched the planter, but it became a 3v3 that worked with a KJ ultimate that was available at the right time and Texture's clutch
Texture now.
yet
You should
again.
note it, but he wins the fight. On to 1. Garnet's full HP and Texture! He does it again!
There is one round and one person I want to give credit to Talon for, and that is Pat's insane B-side denial with the Harbor Reckoning to tie the score 11-11. He found the perfect timing to use the ult, to peek past the smoke and spray down. Everything was magical. He was impactful across Talon's both maps, but unfortunately for Talon, GE's first win was inevitable after what they did in round 23. Aaron's calls were really working its way in most rounds, and in this one it was damn near perfect. To fake to show that they're going B. Last 20 seconds of the round, Talon bought the fake clearly with only Garnet on the A side to defend. Rossi was traded perfectly, Bazi's rotation cut off, and Aiden's double man spray down. A brilliant GE round to seal this match as Talon's economy fell off a cliff for the last round and couldn't hold a straight B push from Global Esports.
Run to the hills. It's not gonna matter. It's not gonna matter. Bucks ends up falling, and Global Esports will at long last find their first match victory here in VCT Pacific.
Global's first win might have come off of a wounded Talon, but it is still a win that counts as a big moment. It is their first international win with this roster, and they're constantly improving with every game, and it is visible. How much further can this roster keep going? We'll have to wait and find out, but damn is it exciting to watch them change up the 5 every map and confuse everyone. Both the Indian boys showed up, and the roster strength will only increase from here. Onward and upward from here as we will continue to watch GE fighting.